Look at this, I turned my head and the chat's already full. What's going on here? Good morning, good morning. Yes, it's embossing time. Yes, the dragon has to fly. I'll show you in a minute, you'll see it in a second. Hang on. The dragon has to fly, so... Actually, I've just spent the last frantic 15 minutes trying to find this. Cameron is working upstairs, sorting out a lot of our chaotic paperwork here. You know, things have been thrown all over the place, but Cameron's trying to sort it out. So, and because things are being sorted out and cleaned up, I have no idea where they are. So, I couldn't find this thing. All right, I think we got it. Okay, as some of you already know, it's embossing day today. We have a polymer plate here. We don't carve these by hand. We have a small polymer plate which says at the top, Hori Nagao. This is Yumi-san, one of our newer carvers, and then it's Suri Kubota Kenichi. And we're doing the embossing today on a print that we showed yesterday. Was it yesterday? I don't remember. Get these for you here. We showed this in, I guess it was yesterday's stream. These are the latest batch of prints from our associate printer, Kubota-san. It's Jed's design that he calls the Dragon's Gift, and one that we're very, very, very happy with. The levels of grey and depth in this thing are just way, way cooler than anything we've done before. When Jed sent us the Photoshop version of this years ago, and this is literally years ago, I really wasn't sure if we'd be able to pull it off, but we've got it. So this is the last step now. There's no carver and printer name in here, and that's what I'll be doing this morning. I'll be embossing. Let's pull out a bit so you can see the setup of the bench here. The flask is still here, but I won't be using that. This is not carving going on today. I'll need a cloth and dampen it. This embossing should normally be done when the paper is moist during part of the printing process. Our own printers here, Suga-san and Nishikawa-san, they do their own embossing while the paper is still wet. Kubota-san, he says, I couldn't bother doing this, just forget it. I don't even want my name on these, I don't care about that stuff. But we do. He won't do it himself, so we have to do it now. But the paper's already dry. I could re-moisten the whole stack of paper. That's a huge job. It's something we don't really need to do at this point. But what I found out that what we can do is, even on dry paper, if I just lightly moisten on the paper here, just one corner of it, we can get away with this. And this paper is not overly wide. I think it's going to fit. Let's see. So, got my burn ready. Let's try this and see how it goes. So I should do a test first, obviously. I think we're okay. I don't know if Jed's got this on his webpage yet. And this is also a first. This is the first print we are publishing from Yumi-san, our carver. Can we get it there? I don't know if we can be able to see this without a side light on it. It's probably not going to show easily. If I put this on, maybe we can catch it down here. I don't know. Is it showing? Let's try zooming in, see if we can catch this. Are we getting it? It should be there. Hori Nagao, carving Nagao-san. Suri Kubota Kenichi. I don't need that for my work today, so let's get that on. All right, away we go. That's my work for the next half an hour or so. It won't fill the whole stream today. It'll fill the first half an hour or whatever. And then I'll switch back to carving. I've still got work on the Great Wave version for our print party room. So let's get busy. Is Jed here today? Yeah, good. I think I need my other glasses for this job. One of those days where I need both glasses here. Bifocals, yeah. Bifocals or trifocals, I don't know, you know. It's a question of distance. Now, of course, something this far, I need this pair of glasses. Something that far where the computer screen is, I need those. I guess I should check out buys or tries, I don't know. Just frustrating, you know. Normally during the day I don't have a problem with it because I just do one job or something. That's not a problem. But here trying to do these two things, trying to look at this paper really close and then trying to look at the computer screen. Same thing last night. I'm trying to eat dinner and read the newspaper at the same time. I got the newspaper at the side of the table. I can't see my dinner. One negative about this batch of prints is that there's a tinge of, I don't know, smoke smell on them. Kubota-san is a smoker and she smokes all day long. And the first batch of prints we ever got from him years ago were saturated with smoke smell. It was repulsive. You open the package, and even one person, when they received their single print, you open the package and get hit by this disgusting smell. So we told him, you want to work, no more, you know, whatever, smoke in a separate room or, you know, whatever, it's up to you. You want to work for us, that's unacceptable. So what he's done is he's trying to do this, you know. He doesn't smoke while he's at the bench doing our prints. He goes in a separate room when he needs one, but still his whole house and home is saturated with the smell. So any prints that we get done by him, we've got to, you know, I'm going through them one by one. They get a little bit of airing. Then our staff sits there and flops them around in the air a bit before they pack them. We're trying to get rid of as much of the smell as we can. Another guy, Itakura-san, he's doing some of the printing for Doi Hanga Company, you know. He did that last print of Arakawa. And he's a heavy smoker too, and all day long these guys smoke while they're working. You know. And the prints get full of it, just totally full of that ridiculous smell. For them it's no big deal, because when they were growing up, when they first became printers, the workshops were of course totally full. All the guys smoked, so the workshops must have been just a fog all day long, you know. So they think it's just normal. Yeah, just like the days of Hasui, of course. Yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, you know, in the 50s and 60s, it was just everywhere. Cars, trains, the planes, the airplanes. My God, they were insane. Just gray haze everywhere you went. I mean, my two parents, when I was a kid, they were both heavy smokers. I grew up among that. You know. They both quit when they learned about the health thing when it came up in the 60s and 70s. My parents both quit. But when I was a baby, they were both heavy smokers. The world's a much better place now in that sense, anyway. What's this here now? What's the question here, Jet? Has my alcohol intake increased since moving downtown? You have a beer with dinner nightly. Did you used to do that in Ome? No, you're right. You're right. I didn't used to have a beer every night. Now I do. Am I getting fat? I don't know. Seems I'm okay still, I think. One beer is my limit. If I have two, I can't work. So one beer is my limit. What's the next question? Lettering on the board. Okay, we've talked about this before. I don't know if I can. Maybe I've got some here. We've got a piece of it here. I've been chopping it up. They're what are called in the West polymer plates. They're used normally for offset printing these days. You know, people don't use metal type anymore. They prepare it in Illustrator or something, send it out to a company, and it's a piece of plastic, and the lettering part gets raised. We don't make these. They're made by a printing company. Polymer plates. Here in Japanese it's jushiban. And of course they're reversed from normal printing because it's designed for offset printing to be rolled ink on and printed. So we don't carve the lettering. It's just you know, a little bit more than is necessary for us to sit there and carve such tiny lettering. You know. Oh, good. Jed's handling the conversation. Good, good. Thank you, sir. And if you noticed a few minutes ago, I kept one out of here. I labeled it. And what we've got here is I'm the person who prepared the paper for Kubota-san for this run. And I got a few of them a bit too narrow. So you can see there's a wide margin on one side. It's a bit too narrow here. This one is really too not so much. These are acceptable. But this one's too narrow. So I'll keep this copy. We need to keep a sample anyway. We need to keep a color sample. So next time they go back for the printers. So we keep a file of all these things. So I'll keep this one here myself. The rest are going to Jed, and I don't know if you know what's going to happen next. Of course, Jed, when he gets these, he looks at them, checks them over, he signs each one. He's got a seal. He'll be putting his red seal somewhere on here. It's up to him where it goes. He's the artist here. He'll be putting it maybe, I'm not sure, either in this space perhaps or here. I don't really know. It's up to him. It's what he'll do. And he signs them, and he puts a number on each one. We don't do limited editions. There's none of this, only 100 whatever. But Jed always numbers the prints sequentially. So I guess he's just going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With the popular prints now, the rickshaw cart, I don't know, we're up to 1,000 or something. Jed keeps track of that because we don't do that here. So this is the very first batch of the Dragon Sprint. So he'll be numbering them from the beginning. And I guess they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the first group of them will be going to the Kickstarter backers. This was first put on the Kickstarter campaign last September. So there's a bunch of people who have already paid for this. So I suppose he'll be doing those people with the earliest numbers. Then the next group of numbers are the ones he'll have in his on his website when he opens it up. Or if he already has, I don't know. I don't know what he's done here. And I wonder where this one's going to climb to. No idea. The really popular prints in this series are at or around 1,000 so far. The less popular ones are at some hundreds each. Where they're going to go, I don't know. The blocks last so well. This barn, yes, this is a barn from the print party room, and it gets beaten up. What it is, it's not a home barn. It's not a real professional barn. This is one of the ones that are called Murasaki barn. Purple is the brand name. They're made by Goto-san, our friend. And it's a piece of plywood, lightly lacquered on top, and inside it's a coil made of glued up string. So this is not the home barn. I don't want to spoil that, because this jushi barn is quite hard. And I don't want to spoil a barn, so I'm using a hard barn to do this. But yeah, it's from the print party room, and people have rings and stuff like that, and they scratch it. So they get pretty worn out. Oh, look at this. Comments. Ow! I think Jed's still handling things, right? Conventions and stuff. What's that? Jed says he botched the stamping on some of these. If you sell those for more, it's like a postage stamp with something printed upside down, you know. Jed should put his seal upside down on some of them. Charge double. But yeah, it's frustrating, you know, at this stage, when this thing is finished now, I mean, this is like a 25 layer print, you know, and you got to really be careful towards the end of it. When you're printing, if you screw up something on the last few steps, you've spoiled all your work up to now, you know. When we're doing this, we do the delicate part. Like Kubota-san probably put the eyes in first, because it's tricky. If you get the eye just a little bit off center, then the expression has changed. So it spoils the print. So putting those kind of things in first and then doing the less visible parts is common sense. The other thing about someone like Kubota-san doing this work for us, he's so consistent, you know. This is the real mark of a professional printer, of course, you know. You look at these prints, one to the other, and look at this. I mean, there's just, the gradation is at the same place, the color tones are the same. This is what it means to be a professional printer, you know. No variation. Variation equals error. Wonderful. This is the biggest difficulty for an inexperienced printer, to keep them looking the same. Anybody can make one print. Making two the same is an exponential level of difficulty more. Because that doesn't come until you've had experience. I mean, these guys on the Acolyte page, the people who are learning to make prints and trying this because it's fun to do, they're doing some really nice work. But absolutely, the biggest difference between work at that level and what we do is that we print this, we make them all the same. And that's really, really, really difficult. Jed's working with other young printers now, you know, and it's going to be fun to watch, and good speed to them, and let's go and let's get some experience. But you probably won't be seeing any photographs of all the prints laid out side by side, because I can tell you they're probably not going to be looking the same. But, This is our pride. We've worked so many years and so hard to get to that level. There's even cool touches like this. This is Jed. This is not us. You see the dragon? It's got a green back and sort of a brownish belly. And the way he's designed it, the thing is going in and out of the smoke and in and out of the clouds. And at the part where it goes into the clouds here, we can just see the belly. The dragon's twisting and the green is turning to brown. It goes into the clouds. And then when it comes out of the clouds, there's still a little touch of the belly here. It's extra trouble to do this, to carve a little bit of brown block right down at the bottom to cover that. But it just adds another extra tinge of, I can't say realism, but just to take the trouble to do that, This is one of the best prints we've ever made, absolutely. I don't know about the popularity of the game. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. But my God, this is a beautiful woodblock print. 200 years from now, they're going to be astonished that we made this, There's nothing like this being made anywhere else. Okay, here's the end of, we've got 2 batches from Kubotsa. We've cut the paper. We've been doing something with the wide version for printing into books later. But so this is what he's done here is we've got his batch. He sent these back to me and he's already chopped the paper off, the corner off, because by his standards there's something wrong with these and they're no good. And sometimes you look at these and like, what actually is wrong with this? So I can see now, okay, this must have been one of the early copies. He's got the red here misregistered. It's off by, I don't know, a fraction, maybe a 0.2 of a millimeter or something. The normal standard for other publishers, they're publishing stuff like this. But no, that's it. Bang, chop. What's wrong with this one? I can't find the problem. Oh, there it is. There it is. He's got a smear. There's some, again, must be one of the early ones. The gray thing in the background here, Yumi-san didn't carve quite deeply enough. Where are we here? So this gray cloud has given a smear at the end of it. It's going to focus here, I'm not quite sure. And again, that's it. Bang, that's enough. Reject it. Bang, throw it away. What's wrong with this one? Oh, the red. This is fun. This is fun. He's got the red here. This must be the first few sheets. He's trying to work on the registration and stuff. I don't know if you can see it. The red here is raised just about 0.2 millimeter. He's tried to adjust it. He's adjusted too much. It's gone about 0.2 millimeter down. So the red is off. Bang, out it goes. What's wrong with this one? Oh, okay, this is an early copy. Look at this, look at this. There's nowhere near deep enough gray here. He's working on the colors at this point still. This is a model scrappy gray. That's no good. And this will be the first sheet through the batch. He's just trying to get the colors sorted out. So yeah, out they go. And we do not want to sell these, and bang, we prove to ourselves that we won't let them go. If they're really that much no good, you put them in the drawer as they are. At some point, someone will say, okay, this is good enough. Let's send it out. No. Chop them off. I heard the question button. God, this chat just keeps going on and on and on. No, people are asking about discounts. No, spoiled prints are spoiled prints. They're not for sale, they're garbage. Where's the question box? Hang on a sec. 2 questions. Oh, a question again about left hand, right hand carving. I'm not carving today, so actually remind me, after I finish this embossing job, I'm moving back to my carving. I'll be holding the carving blade then. I can answer that question. So ask me again in a half hour or so when I'm back to being carving. Another question. I don't know if I can answer. I don't have the stuff here. I don't know. Again, that's a question about a printing thing and a printing blocks. I don't have anything here to show and tell and talk about it. So can I take a rain check on both of these questions? Can you ask them again, please, when I'm carving and or printing and I've got stuff that I can be able to demonstrate and show with? Sorry, both of those questions are just, I don't have the stuff to show. I don't know. Okay. Let's get back to work here, Dave. So next group now. I'll do the same thing with the embossing, but these are the wider group. I know, we published a book last year, the first 10 prints in the Hero series. Well, when we have 10 more ready, and we've now got 17, when we've got 20, we'll do another volume 2. And these are the first prints being prepared for that. There's too many here, actually. The way the paper comes out of the larger sheets sometimes, we've just got a bit left over. So at this moment, it's sort of a, what the hell, let's just make wider versions rather than just throw the paper away. But we will probably end up cutting these off and selling them as single sheet versions at the moment. Then when we get print number 19 and or print number 20 done, the next batch of dragons, we will use the wide versions for the book. So at the moment, it doesn't matter. We're printing wide because we've got a bit of extra paper available. So maybe some of you have torn, you might like this print now, but it'll be issued later on as part of a book. So I don't know. You have to make your own mind up about that. Okay, let's keep going here. Jed's showing new stuff, is he? Good, good, good. We've still got 3 spots left in this series, you know, to get to that next 20. We've got 17 committed. Number 17 we're working on is Times Burn Bright. It's the Chrono Trigger, very nice. The Chrono Trigger campfire scene is number 17. And we've got 18, 19, and 20. 3 more prints in Ukiyo Hero series that are yet TBA, to be announced, undecided yet. Jed and I are sometimes wrestling back and forth. I have tried to encourage him that we should keep it into video game territory. And Jed, of course, as you know, as you see now, he's stretching out. He wants to move into anime territory. So he and I sometimes chat about this, what to do, which direction to take it, you know. Yes, so I understand. So there's 2 of them in the series we've done. This one and then the one for the turtles, of course. The 4 turtles we did is obviously not iconic video game material. So there's those 2 that are in the series. This is why I haven't tried to be so autocratic about this, you know. But I did want the series to be generally about video games, or whatever they're called. Actually, just games, I guess, is the current expression. I don't know. So no problem. We'll work with it. Maybe the one Jed's doing now, perhaps that will maybe become the next one. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's a little bit of mess in the paper here, a little bit of, I don't know, bark. A bit of bark at the edge of the paper, I don't know if you can see it. But the most recent batch of paper, actually it's part of an interesting story too. You've heard me complain bitterly many, many times while doing these streams, and if you're talking to me in person, you've heard me complain bitterly about the quality of the paper in recent years. We've had huge trouble with it. And among the different points that are trouble on the paper, one of the biggest problems has been that it's been full of leftover bits of bark and dots and dots. And I sit here with my microscope and pick them out bit by bit by bit. Well, we've got a recent batch of paper. We've received 2 shipments of paper from Iwano-san over the past few weeks. It's the bulk of the paper we'll be using through the rest of 2018. we've been sampling some new test paper from a new place, but we still can't change horses. We still very much depend on Iwano-san for our paper, even though the quality has been degrading. It's still basically the only game in town. So we've received 1,000 sheets actually over the past couple of weeks. 500 sheets of one size and 500 sheets of another size, another dimension. And in both cases, when I opened the package, instantly I opened the package to find out, my God, what is this paper like? Is it good? Is it bad? And in both cases, 500 sheets and 500 more sheets, the paper has been really, really clean. And we don't quite know why. It's an astounding change. It's like going back in time 5 years or 10 years or something. And the paper is very much cleaner. And I don't know why. I know we've been verbal, quite bitterly complaining, and sometimes quite publicly complaining about this in recent years. So perhaps word has got back to those guys. They've seen a TV program that I complained about the paper or something like that, or I don't know. And maybe they're just making an extra effort. Okay, Dave's really getting upset with this, and maybe we should, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I have no direct feedback with them. They know we've complained verbally to them in years past about the bark in the paper, but I haven't complained to them in recent years because there's just no point to it. It just never changed. So we gave up. You can't argue with a living national treasure. But this time round, the paper is visibly cleaner and neater. Here he is. Here's Mr. C himself. And you're just in time. I need your help for a moment, sir.
Oh. Wow.
Either you got your own camera, or can you grab the camera from the party room?
Sure.
I'd like to shoot what I'm doing, because blogging. We've got to wake up the blog. Okay. So. That's Cameron. He's here. He'll be taking over here as my wingman to help with this conversation. Cameron off to work before taking off his jacket. I'm not sure what that means. It's a mild day out there, isn't it? So, what I just like is I would like to blog about this. I really would like to blog almost daily now with what we're doing at Mocha Hong Kong. So get a general shot, like a distant shot of what's going on. Then we'll look at a shot close up with the embossing and stuff like that. So just grab a few before you sit down with the blog here, before you sit down with the stream here, please.
Yeah.
So. If you can maybe find one, can you get one that's got like the stream and stuff inside, so we can incorporate all that? The shot from over there maybe that includes the actual camera itself and me doing something and the stream in the background, so we get the scene inside the scene the scene or whatever.
Meta.
Yeah, so meta blog posts. So.
The camera, the computer, you.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yep.
And then I don't know if we can get that little camera should do it actually.
Yeah.
If you don't zoom in, if you zoom right out,
then it's too.
and if you can get,
Should I get?
just move the camera physically in,
Yeah.
but with the zoom out. Does it show it?
Yep. It might be a little washed out from this light, but there. Okay. Is that not close enough? Closer?
I can't see it. It's
Oh,
just
okay. Oh. Closer?
I can't see, it's all washed out, isn't it? I'll do a close up of that part
Okay,
a bit later.
sorry.
So as long as if you get the action shots, I'll take care of the rest later.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good.
Turn this to the print party room so they don't come searching for it later. Oh, but if you're going to use it, then.
Yeah, just leave it here. Yeah, thanks. So,
So often
they're already
print party stuff come upstairs. Cameron, where's the camera?
Look, yeah, I know. They're not complaining already, but they're saying, no, take one with the refrigerator.
Oh,
Okay, shoot from the other side.
all right.
Get it off again. Okay. I'm not
they
gonna
all
make.
named
I'm
refrigerator?
not gonna make a deal to put refrigerator in every blog post. Period. We're not going that far. So sorry. Take it when you get it.
Okay, that he's just in the distant background.
Whatever. I'm not the one making up the rules here. So it's.
Okay.
I think this could get a bit embarrassing. You know, Dave needs his stuffed toy wherever he goes. You know, I mean, there was a. Okay, I don't even.
Okay, sorry.
There was a girl in for a print party the other day, and she had a stuffed toy with her. So she came into the party room to get ready for the party, takes the toy out, puts it on the bench, because her stuffed toy has to go with her. And then she shoots it for Instagram. I mean, this is the deal. People take these toys with the Eiffel Tower, with Kaminari, whatever. So she was giggling about it. So
Yeah.
fair enough. So. But it's a thing, you know, you take your toy, whether it's a security blanket or whether it's just for a joke, I don't know.
Yeah.
We will not rest until Dave makes a dedicated fridge video. Whatever. It'll have to wait till I'm back in Ome where the fridge lives. So junk everywhere. Sorry about that. Hey. All clear?
Yep, I think so. That's clear enough. Okay.
Good, I can relax, get back to work. Actually,
All
what
right.
I'm doing is I've been doing the embossing here on the Dragon Sprint, which is so freaking good.
Yeah.
This could be the best one that we've ever done in this
Really?
series. I'm down because I see it more from a technical point of view. This
Yeah.
is so difficult. The layering of this gray.
Yeah.
And like you don't
So
need to
many
do it.
different
There's
types of
stuff in there that I know it's in there. I can barely see it, but someone doesn't know it's in there. They'll never see it. And I like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We've layered it up so far that you can't see it anymore, but I know it's in there. You know, so. And it does. It gives a real depth. And especially, too, as this thing ages, it is going to be much, much, much nicer.
Yeah. Cool.
And I was pointing out this little thing here. You see, we've got the belly color.
Yeah.
It's brown and the green, and it goes around into the cloud. There's the belly is just starting to disappear as it goes in the cloud. And it's still there when it comes out of the cloud on the other side. You know?
So impressive.
I like it. I like it very much. You know, so I'm just sorry it took so long to produce. It's been literally about 3 years in production because it just slept on Asuka Sensei's desk for years. And I told him, no deadline, doesn't matter.
Get to it when you get to
So
it.
that was a mistake. You tell that to a craftsman, you know.
He won't get it.
So if you tell him no deadline, just whenever you're ready, you'll never get it back. So
Yep.
Copy on there. You missed a few yesterday because we copied too far apart. It goes there's
I
so much
missed the
conversation.
section.
There's so much
Wow.
conversation.
I'm sorry about that.
No big deal.
Okay. Some more.
Actually, I'm finished too. I'm gonna switch back to carving here in a minute.
Oh, okay. Someone said they recently checked where Ome is compared to this shop, and they were very surprised at how far away it's tucked up in the mountains.
2.5 hours, yes.
Yeah.
So, there's no way I can commute. Although my neighbor does, the guy that lives next to me in Ome, he commutes to Shinagawa 6 days a week. 6 days a week.
Wow. That's too much.
It's either insanity or it's typical normal Japanese Southerners life. They're both the same thing. It's the same word, right?
Same.
So-
They're synonyms. Zilvian, thanks for adding the print party command. That's great.
Zilvian's doing the bot? No, that's the last known god. It's the bot.
Oh, well, Zilvian says, by the way, Cameron, fix the command you tried yesterday, because I tried a print party one.
Oh, maybe there's more than one
maybe
person.
they're working
Okay,
together
great.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Sugi-san, I work already?
It's almost 9.
Okay, soka.
Yeah, I wasn't this way. Ohayou gozaimasu.
Good morning.
まだお団子あるの、やばいねこれもう硬くなってんじゃないの。
Sugi-san、久保田さんからのドラゴンですね。先日見たんでしょ？
はいはいはい。
本当に綺麗でしょ？
綺麗だね。
本当に綺麗でしょ？奥行きとか。
Thanks, Ted Steve. I like this shirt too.
本当に綺麗よ。
あー綺麗。本当だ。すごいね。
杉さんですが。
何を言ってるんですか。
だけどもうそろそろ売り切れになりますから。
そんな。
このものとスネーク。も
う。スネークもないわーすごい。
ちょっと3枚しか残ってないです。
早っ。早いね。
いや、だから最近、久保田さんに頼むと、60、70ぐらいですね。200じゃない。彼があんまり、
そうね。
あんまり枚数が多くないようにお願いして。
年だからね。
うん、
お互いに。
言いたくないですが。
Yes.
よいしょ。
Frozen Runner asked, how long a commute is that? I think talking about the guy you were saying who commuted to Shinagawa.
Well, when I go back and forth here, it's about 2.5 hours from,
Yeah.
from my Genkan to when I get here. So.
Yeah.
For him, in the morning, it's less because you've got a decided train. He leaves his house at 6:35, gets on his little motorbike, rides to the station. He's on a decided train.
Yeah.
He sits next to the same guy every morning. You know, and because we're leaving, Ome is a starting point.
Yeah.
If you work it early enough, and if you're willing to go early enough, you can get a seat. So
Yeah.
he can sit all the way to Shinjuku, where he will change.
Right.
Coming home doesn't work like that because all the salarymen come home at different times. It's random scramble in his office. You know, he won't know what time he's coming home. Yeah. He knows he's got the last train. He's got to get in there before that. So when I was living there and I heard the daily routine day by day, his bike would leave at 6:35 or 6:36 every morning.
Wow.
And then I'm already in bed now, but when he comes back, it's like 10:35 or so. His motorbike comes back in. Click, then click, click, click. His front door slams and you hear the ka-chunk of the key and that's it.
Wow.
So his door to door, he left at 6:35 and got home at 10:30 or 10:35. 6 days a week.
So
And he's still doing that. He's got like a 35-year mortgage on the house. That's it. There's no choice. And away he goes. It's normal. I say it's normal, but it's changing now because he bought that house at the end of the bubble time in like the 1890s. When you couldn't possibly, the 1980s, I'm sorry, when you couldn't possibly buy property in Tokyo. Yeah. And that's different now because normal people can buy apartments in high towers in Tokyo because the zero interest rates for 20 years have brought it back down. Yeah. So probably nobody is starting that kind of a life nowadays.
Right.
A young salaryman with a kid, a couple of kids, he can afford to buy what they call a mansion, in a high tower in Tokyo now. Mm-hmm. So those days of the 2.5 hour commutes are probably behind us, of course. But there are people like him who are still doing that. And in the first days of the shop, when we were building it, when I couldn't stay here, when there was nowhere to sleep, whatever, I was doing it. I was going back and forth.
Yeah.
For nothing. Okay, switch back to being a carver for the leftover time on this stream here today. You can zoom in, I think. Just give me a minute.
Yep.
Where am I? It's waves, waves, waves.
Noticing. 2.5 hours a week for commuting. Oh wait,
2.5 hours a day.
That was
a day.
Yeah,
every day.
But that's each way.
That's each way.
Hours,
so it's
30 hours a week.
Day.
He's going 6.
Longer than most people work.
Yeah, that's crazy. Since zero interest for 20 years, I think they're intrigued by that comment about.
Well, it's not zero interest for 20 years. I mean, when did the zero interest rate policy start? It's about 15 years ago, 20 years ago? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's been.
Now, when I bought my house, I took my mortgage out in the year 2000. Mm-hmm. And I got a 10-year mortgage because I wasn't buying a full price. I was buying a discounted house and I had a big, heavy down payment. Yeah. So I took a mortgage for about $180,000 if you put it equivalent. I took a mortgage and my mortgage then was 2.03 or something like that.
Yeah.
The first 5 years. Then I renegotiated it and it went down to 1.7 or something like that. Yeah. And I don't know what they are now. I mean, we have, quote, zero interest rates. That's the level of the Bank of Japan, you know, blah, blah. Yeah. A consumer mortgage rate is, whatever, one point something or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Really, really low. And then, let's see. What's your commute?
I can't see. Am I on the...
Yeah, you're
visible
side here.
Okay.
What's my commute? I ride a bike for 15 minutes and then a train for about a half hour, so it ends up being about 45 minutes.
Do you get to sit down or not?
Depends on the day. If I take a local train, so it's a little bit longer, I get to sit the whole way. If I take a faster train, so I get here a few minutes earlier, but I usually end up standing the whole way.
You're at an exchange station, right? That's, in fact, that's why you picked that station. I think when you're looking for a place to live, you specifically chose a station that gave you more train options.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Oh. Westwind 77 asks if you could zoom in, I guess, a little bit more.
Zoom in more than this? You want to see like bacteria? What are you looking at? The problem is, if I zoom in too close, then it ends up, if I move the block a little bit, I'm out of the view, you know?
Yeah.
Are we there? I don't
You're
know.
right in the middle for now, yeah. I'll let you know when you drift.
I didn't, like my fingernails are all mucked again because of the construction downstairs, so whatever.
Oh, Zilvian says Dave mentioned to remind him of some previous question in the question email box.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
yeah.
Should I dig that up?
There was two questions. One was about printing, one was about carving. And I was,
Okay.
I don't even remember what they are now.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I'll go dig them up.
Oh, yeah, it was a question about left-handed knives or something. I don't know. I'm sorry. But again, why a right-handed knife for a left-handed person probably takes a half hour to answer. I'm not sure. What's the...
If I use the traditional way of carving, so right-handed, palm down, do I need to use my left hand finger to guide the blade? He says, it's hard to crisscross my left hand finger under my right hand to guide the blade when I carve the traditional way. It looks more natural when you carve with your left hand palm up and your right hand finger to guide the blade.
Yeah. Actually,
crisscrossing. So
I can't answer that because I don't know. I don't know. They do. I'm thinking about, I've just watched Asuka Sensei. I have the wrong knife for this, but if you're carving, I gotta zoom out for this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, without wanting to get into huge long, I'm carving here the modern way under my nose. The traditional way is over the back of your hand, looking this way down here. It makes a difference as to which blade you use, but the point being, under your nose makes it really easy to support the blade with your finger. But the downside is you can't see the lines that are coming up, so you don't know where you're going. The plus side is that any fool can do it because it's easy. Whatever. The difficult way, the traditional way, is over the back of your hand. You can see now the lines coming up. But his point is, how do you support the blade with your finger? I'm not really quite sure because I don't do it this way, but I've seen Asuka Sensei. His finger is under there somewhere. So I think what he's doing is, of course, his carving hand is lifted up in the air. This way, my carving hand is sliding along the wood. I'm down on the wood, which gives it more stability. His way, his carving hand is up in the air, floating free, and his carving hand is resting on his other hand, I guess, so that he can put his finger in there. But honestly speaking, I'm really not sure because I don't do it that way, so I'm not quite the guy to ask about that.
Okay.
Good question. Cool. Really, really good question. I know we've talked about this before. I think we were talking about this yesterday. The book on how to make prints and stuff like that. I did a very elementary version of your first print.
Yeah.
And the idea is to do a more sophisticated encyclopedia of it.
Yeah.
And I mentioned in the stream that rather than have me do it, because I don't do it the traditional way, go over to Asuka Sensei's place, take a bunch of video over there, watch him doing it, and talk about that. So that's on the to-do list. But so I'm sorry to waffle on that. I am not the right guy to answer, and I will freely, absolutely admit I am not carving in the classically trained, long apprenticeship way. So I can't answer that. I'm sorry. So.
Okay. That's a question.
I got to think about that one actually. How does he do that? John-san does it the traditional way, so we ask John-san when he's here now. We're just watching. And John-san's a lefty.
So he's lefty traditional.
He's a lefty, but both me and Asuka Sensei didn't give any choice. We forced him.
Oh, so he carves right-handed.
No. He carves left-handed in the traditional way. So he has a left-handed blade. I'm a lefty carving in the funny modern way. So to do that, to keep the flat side on the line, I need to have a right-handed blade.
Got it.
He's a lefty carving in the traditional way, so he needs, of course, a left-handed blade. So.
Got it.
But he first learned by watching my videos, so he learned that way. But as soon as he got here in Tokyo, Japan, we saw how good he was.
Yeah.
I refused to teach him because, as I said, I don't know those classical techniques.
Yeah.
And I knew he was good enough to make this worthwhile.
Yeah.
I sent him to Asuka Sensei. We went over there together. We talked about it together. Asuka Sensei saw the work he'd done so far, said, all right, let's do this thing.
Cool.
We all decided that's it. Start from zero in the classical way.
Yeah.
He's been doing that, and it's just working wonderfully. So he's probably, I don't know this that I can guarantee it, but he's probably the first ever left-handed traditional carver working at a high level, because there was no such thing in the old days.
Right.
Absolutely no such thing. So he quite possibly, he's completely unique.
Yeah.
A left-handed traditional carver working in the traditional field at the top professional level. We can't talk about him too much because he's illegal. We can't post about him. Once we get the visa thing all worked out at some point, it's going to have to happen some point.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about it.
Let's see. Another question says, on the bath print I got,
Yeah.
there's a white line in the bottom right, as
Yes.
you mentioned, when printing on the stream. How many printings are required for this imperfection to be removed from the block?
Well, I can't give a specific number. I don't have anything to show. That's why I didn't talk about this. Actually, I've got some prints there. Those vertical files right there. I think second or third from the left, somewhere. There's a batch of the bath prints.
Okay.
I think.
A couple of extras that we didn't send out.
I think so. You should be right near the left edge there somewhere.
There. So we just have one on washi and one on
Okay,
printed
that's good.
paper.
Okay. Again, I probably got the same one again. This is one from that day. This is the stream day, right? This is the 11th print. I made 10 during the stream. I made 5 during the stream.
Yeah.
And did 6 after that. And this is the 11th one. We've sent out 10 of them. Well, this is the 11th one. I'm not sure how visible it is. What he's asking about is, maybe it's not so visible. Can you see it on the thing?
Oh,
There's
yeah, a
a
little
whitish patch here.
Oh no, it dropped. Oh, they're back. Okay.
What?
The stream dropped, even though I didn't touch any cords. All I did was move. Okay.
Anyway, I can't tell. Is this visible or not?
I can see it, but I know what I'm looking for. So someone brand new may not be able to, but it's
whatever,
slightly lighter.
There's a part that's a bit lighter here than the others. In some prints, it's more vivid than others, depending on how much water we've put in. What we're talking about here, on the woodblock surface itself, there's a remnant of a knot there. So the wood is extremely hard in that tiny area of the block. I shouldn't have actually chosen that piece of wood for this print. So we've got generally soft wood here. Water goes in and comes out and goes in and comes out. The wood there was really hard. And I had mentioned that this is a hallmark of a brand new print because the wood block is extremely hard there. And what we did was, as I started making more of these prints, I got the hard part of the wood in that zone and I roughed it up. I tap to take away some of the hardness so the water can seep in and drink out and seep in and drink out. And in subsequent versions, it started to get much lighter. It's still visible. And how long is it going to take that disappears is once the wood is aged and it all gets a bit softer, then that won't be visible anymore. So it's a hallmark of this print. I shouldn't have chosen that block for this, ideally. And the other way to do it is we can print in a way that brings out wood grain and brings out these things more. Generally keep the amount of pigment lower and keep the pressure really high. And that brings out the wood grain and also these defects. And to hide them, use more paste, more pigment, and a lighter pressure. And that tends to hide wood grain.
Okay.
But I'm not going to worry about it. That's not all that, to me, this is not destructive in terms of this print. So the versions that I make from here on in of these things are going to have this white streak here, and bit by bit until it fades out. So, but he says, how many copies? I mean, of course, I can't. I can't put a number on it. And it's still not in the catalog. I know Kawai-san tried to print some and didn't quite get there. Suga-san, who just passed through the room here, tried to print some and gave up. She just said, that's it, over to you. I'm not even going to do this. It's too bare. It's too bare and any tiny defects show.
Got it.
And like that dragon print we just looked at is full of a million things and you can get away with a little bit of stuff here.
A little bit of wiggle room there.
But this one has, the expression, no room for error. And both of those guys have said, nope, pass that one over to Dave.
Got it. Okay.
And I have mixed feelings about that. I'm unhappy that they can't do it, but my ego, of course, I can still do this when these young, powerful people can't do this. So I still have meaning around here. I'm not dead yet. It's sort of a feeling. So And actually, maybe now that I think about it, are they doing that on purpose just to make me feel useful here still? Have we got to that stage yet where they're saying things to make Granddad think that he's still okay?
Don't think so.
It's all a plot.
It's all a plot to...
Let's just give Dave work to do so he thinks he's still useful around here. Prepare this little job.
What are some of the small ones we can give him?
Pretend that we can. Oh, Dave, I just can't do this myself. Maybe can I handle over here? Is that what's happening? Are we there actually already?
Oh, no.
I don't think I want to know the answer to that. So.
We do have another question from Historian of Things, jumping back a little bit. Can you show how the handle fits in your palm? How long is the handle versus how wide is your palm? So how?
We're talking about this thing, the carving.
I think the earlier knife when we were talking about.
Well, this.
Oh wait, no, that is that one. Yeah, sorry, I thought you had switched again.
Well, again, this is totally customizable. When you buy these handles, they're longer than this. I chopped it off. So that based on how much, just stuck myself.
Ow.
Based on how much I want sticking out, and how long it is, and what my hand size is. There's my thumb at the top. So I've chopped it off. What else can I say? It just fits my hand, period. Bing, there it is. And of course, each time you sharpen it, this gets a bit shorter. But of course, we open it up, pull the blade out, so it stays about the same length. I'm not specifically classical here. So Asuka Sensei and Chon-san, they both have a longer one. They will let more of the blade stick out. And actually, now that I think about it, when they're doing the overhand thing, if they've got one hand resting on another hand, the way I'm doing it, my blade doesn't even reach the wood.
Yeah.
My legs are not long enough to reach the ground. So that's interesting too. I keep it short because it fits what I'm doing here with my hand resting on the wood. So it's all totally, customizable to what you're doing. But my version for me there is the wood just fits my 4 fingers. I mean 4 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Blade on that side, thumb on that side.
Yeah.
But that's just my taste. A lot of people have the thumb, or wrap your hand around it. If you've got a longer blade or something, you don't have to do that. You can do this one. But I like that control of having my thumb
over the top,
on the end, over the top. And boy, it gets polished. Woo, it gets polished.
Yeah. Is that all just from?
Yeah, of course. There's no more. It's worn and worn and worn and worn. Wow. Maybe this is about. I didn't count, but I've been doing this now for. What did I first start? 78 or 79. So I'm now pushing 40 years on this, and I think this is the 4th handle. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
They find it. The slot wears out in and out, and putting the sleeve on top. They just finally wear out.
Yeah.
And I lost one to mice. We were back in the old days when my family was still living here. In the summertime, we went to Granddad's farm to do this. And I took some blocks with me because I couldn't just quit working for the summertime. So I'd work in the evenings on my bench there, put the knife down, and just go to sleep. And one night, the handle got eaten by rats. It's an old farmhouse. It's open.
Yeah.
There's rats everywhere. And it got eaten so badly that I couldn't bear to sit there and use it. I mean, it didn't disappear. It wasn't gobbled up.
Yeah.
But it gnawed. And I guess it's sweat and stuff from my hand. It's oil from my hand and salt and whatever. It must have smelled good. And there was little gnaw marks in pairs. Looked like little tiny beaver teeth. There's a little beaver on it.
Wow.
Chick. I kept it. It's around there somewhere. It's in a drawer in Ome.
Yeah.
That's funny. So I think this is the 4th one. I'm not quite sure. I'm sorry. Too many rat stories, and it starts to sound like Dave's life is infested by rats. They were running up and down this morning upstairs.
Really?
Yeah, just above your head there.
Oh no. Excuse me.
They have about a week left.
They've not left, you said.
Yeah. They have about a week left.
Oh,
right.
Yep.
So we're starting. When's it? Tuesday morning.
Yep.
The staging is coming Tuesday morning, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And we're gonna bomb them out of here.
Well, we're not going to specifically attack rats. We're simply closing some holes.
Yeah.
I sure hope it's not raining. It looks like it's going to be raining right now.
Oh, no. The Hangito of Theseus. I don't think I know that reference, but...
Hangito is...
Oh, I know the knife, but...
Of what?
Theseus?
Yeah. I know. It's the reference to a ship in the Odyssey. You driving your ship, one plank gets a bit worn out, you replace that plank. The ship is still okay.
Right.
A little bit of time goes on, you replace another plank.
Yeah.
At the end of the story, there are no original planks left.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it still the same ship, or is it not?
Got it. What's the matter? Don't you know your Greek plays? What era were you born in? Yeah, I get it.
Wasn't around in Homer's era, but
I think my generation of being in school was perhaps the last generation that did those things, you know. We didn't read the whole Odyssey, but we read enough of it. It was
Yeah.
part of the education back then. My daughters don't even know what it is.
I do know
You know what
it
it is.
is,
So,
at least. But yeah, right stuff. Let's see. Someone at Bullet Tooth Tony asks, "How are you going to evict the rats?"
what you could-
Like you're saying, you're just gonna plug their holes, their entrances and exits, and
let nature take its course.
yeah, let nature.
This is the plan. We may fail. We may fail. I mean, rats are rats. You know, all we're doing is we know their main entrance to the building.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to touch it because it wasn't in our territory.
Yeah.
Now it is in the territory that we've leased. So we
Yeah.
are going to modify the building and close what we think are the
Yeah.
final holes. We may get. This may be just we may get surprised. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, rats are rats. They're pretty good at this. So.
They are pretty good at this. Your mother asks where the rat's going. Anywhere else but here, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, this is a port city. We're in a very low-lying, what used to be a very swampy area of the port city. It's damp around here for a great time of the year. There are a great many old-fashioned restaurants and bars, people who are not really quite so clean, whatever word to use. And there are rats in the community. There's no way around it. This is not any huge confession. This is Tokyo, the port city. There's rats everywhere.
Yeah.
Talk about New York, for God's sake. So all you can do is you can try and take care of your own territory. And at the moment, the territory that we're under control of, the second floor shop and third floor, is rat-free, the parts that we're in control of.
Praxagora says, "Don't worry, Dave. I'm still teaching Latin in American high schools."
Okay, so it exists, yes. So.
So, still getting taught somewhere. That's good.
Latin as in actual, like for speaking or for reading the Homer or something? Or what's the... I mean, this is a normal high school too. I'm a bit surprised.
Yeah,
about
my
this.
high school offered Latin and Japanese and French, German,
Just a
Spanish.
minute, Latin as a not as a spoken language, surely, as something to study so you learn the roots of English and things like this? Well, what's the
But they
take?
did speak a little bit, but from what I hear, nobody really knows how things were exactly pronounced.
Oh, you mean nobody, as in nobody, I mean not just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was especially to help as a foundation for English and literature.
Yeah.
But yeah, they learned some Latin. Yep, Praxagora thesmophoria says both, actually. That is a great name. It's just a mouthful, but...
And I get the idea that there's more high schools that teach Klingon than would teach something like Latin. You're laughing, but I think it's true. Right? I mean, there are YouTube tutorials and courses, and there's probably university courses on Klingon now.
Yeah. Which is
It's a bit sad and it's a bit interesting, both ways. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's coming from a guy who makes his living based on pop culture with little, animals running around driving cars and stuff, whatever. So I'm not shooting at that.
Zilvian asks, "Isn't a heap of dead rats gonna smell?" Just a smile. That's all we get.
We'll solve the problems as they come, you know. I think they just desiccate up there in the attic, that's all. Yeah. I mean, when Aoyama-san took out that back wall of the first floor, he discovered an active rat's nest.
Yeah.
And the ones that could run away ran away outside instantly. Yeah. The ones that couldn't, the little squeakers there, he put them in a plastic bag and suffocated them. And
really?
At the time he opened, that's why he was so disgusted. He went home early that day.
He
said, I got to head for the shower. He was really sad about that. Rats are rats, but, whatever. But he also said that there were dead ones in the nest sitting there. Yeah. They were, sort of desiccated, mummified, whatever, in the nest as they were using it.
They don't have the same kind of
ethic as we do. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe that was the emergency food supply. I don't know. I don't want to make too much of a big deal about this. Rat extermination is a thing.
Thanks, historian of things. He says some historical linguists do have a pretty good idea of what classical Latin sounded like. Thanks. I did not know that. But yeah, I think it won't be too much trouble. I mean, we don't smell their piles of poop. They aren't flushing it down a toilet or something. So
Yeah, it's an isolated part of the building. You know? I think it's just going to gently fade away. I think.
Yeah.
I hope. But as I said, I may be wrong because.
yeah, they'll find a loving new home. Someone suggests. Hope so.
They're everywhere out there, you know, in this county.
You're right. At the Asakusa on a Tsukuba Express station, there's a sign saying our altitude 1.7 meters above sea level.
Yeah, and that's the entrance gate there.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty crazy.
But did you see also right beside that sign? Did you notice the slots in the walls and stuff? And did you look up?
Yeah,
there's two stops. There's from the top down and there's bottom up. It might be a bottom
block.
It's to block the floods, that they know are coming.
Yeah.
So any subway station entrance in this type of an area, where I forget there were less than X meters.
Yeah.
They have the automatic barrier, and somebody hits the button somewhere, and bang, beep beep beep, stand back.
Yeah.
Up comes the floodgate.
Huh. Wow.
It's right there. You'll see it next time you go on the station if you look. Because my God, water starts cascading down the stairs into the subway.
Yeah.
My God.
Trouble. The wood carving stream is now the home of linguistic debate and also rats.
This is what I was afraid of. It becomes too much of a thing, you know.
Yeah.
So, there. Here's the doorbell. It must be Teiko-san. Are we getting near time here?
26.
Okay. All right. Well, as you can see, it's still very slow progress on this block, just nibbling away bit by bit as I get a chance. And tomorrow's stream, I guess I'll be continuing this wave thing, or maybe working on the Patreon print color separations. I'm not sure which it'll be. And we got 3 people on duty down there. Teiko-san's the main party host. We've got sold out parties all day. Asai-chan is coming. And then the new guy, the guy that came in yesterday to talk to us, he's coming today.
Oh, good. He's coming back again
I was
today.
going to come back. So
Great.
he looks good. He looks good. Cheerful guy.
Yeah, he was really nice.
Tanoshi, what is she saying? She mumbled when she came through.
I wasn't paying attention, but probably Tameshi. Is she doing Tameshi City today?
No, she's printing
yeah.
rickshaw carts.
Oh, yeah.
My job today will be party hosting with Teiko-san and color separations. Wow, we're sold out again. Frustrating yesterday. We had 3 no-shows yesterday. And I'm going to have to change the policy. At that rate, we're going to have to start charging in advance.
Yeah.
There's no way. I'm not frustrated by the fact we lost money on it, but people didn't get to do a party. We sat here twiddling our fingers when we're sold out. People are trying to do parties.
Yeah.
Good morning, Teiko-san.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Oh, Rei-chan, good morning. Let's clean up a little bit and we'll shut her down. I've got to get back to work. Get to work.
Gotta stop one aspect of work to do a different aspect of work. Ohayou gozaimasu.
Good morning, Teiko-san. How was the commute today?
やっぱ
How was the commute today? Crowded as usual? Or?
疲れました。なんか遅れもあったし。ずっ
Did you get a chance to sit down or are you standing up all the way?
と座って、立ってます。座れないです。
Okay, let's wrap this up, sir.
Okay.
Got to get up to my next stage of work. For those who didn't know, this is the new party image.
Yeah.
Will be on the bench. Who knows? Next
Sorry,
month. A new face, new training.
あ、そうなんですか。
So. Oh, just give me a minute. I'm still streaming here. I'm gonna let me
ちょっ
get
と
up.
一瞬青山さんかと思っちゃっ
No. So. Okay, Cameron-san, let's
Alright,
roll this
yeah,
down. I gotta
we'll
get back
see
to
you later.
party
Okay.
preparations. Same time, same station tomorrow. I'll be doing this carving and or something else.
Yep. Have a good one. Thanks, everyone. And wrapping up. Yeah.